Yo, 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 what's going on, y'all? What's happening? I know Dining with Zion was like, I can hear you coughing. Yeah, you heard me coughing. Welcome, 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 guys. We are here for another Let's Talk About It show. We are excited to have an amazing guest that I've had the pleasure to meet on the YT streets. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and do some welcoming here. We have a number of people. Man, we got 25 people in the house. This is really, really exciting. You guys are here to support the channel, but you're definitely here to support. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mukbang N Thangs tonight. So we're really excited to have her here on the show. We got MRTV is in the house, Pretty as a Peach is in the house, Vicky's World, hashtag the Cannon, styled by Rosario. Man, a lot of y'all are here tonight. Honey Mama is in the house. Lele and Jackie are in the house. What's going on, Lele? What's going on, Jackie Huff? Dining with Zion is in the house. Hashtag the Cannons again are in the house. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. Classy ladies in the house. Hello, classy lady. The C Circle. What's going on, love? Willie Will Eats is here on on the red carpet. Come on now, Willie Will. Where's Auntie Mammy at? You didn't bring Auntie Mammy with you? Mike Olson is in the house. What's going on, Mike? Keto Girl's in the house. Happy belated birthday again, love. Hope you had a great birthday. Jennifer Winterborn is in the house. Thanks so much for the raid, my brother. Marcos Eats, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for that. La 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 Crazy's in the house. I got to connect with you, La 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 Crazy. I really do. I've been hearing some funny stuff about your channel and who you are as a person, and I'd love to bring you on board in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Let's see, who am I missing here? I'll make sure I'm not missing nobody. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Just kind of going through the chat because there's a lot of folks that have walked in the door. We have 28 people in the house. Carter's Eats in the house. Hello, my love. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much. We still got to connect. I got to connect with you as well to make sure that I get you on the calendar for the show. More Eats is in the house, my love. More Eats. What's going on, my love? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Sean Williams, my brother Sean Williams, Queen Kesh is in the house. If I missed anyone, please, please, please forgive me because there's 28 people in the house. We're really, really excited to have such an amazing support for Mukbang and Things today. Veronica Oglesby is in the house. I'm going to talk about you, Miss Veronica, in just a little bit. So let's get to our guest here. I want to make sure that we give Apple enough time to have a conversation, to cut up, of course, because that's what we love to do. But most of all, we want to talk about some deep truths. When I asked Mukbang and Things, and I'm not sure if a lot of people know about your name, so let me hold off on giving a real name out. But she does talk about it. She does have it on her channel, on her about page. I want to make sure that people understand that she definitely has a story. And when I asked if there's anything that you wanted to discuss or not want to discuss, there's a couple deep truths, is what she mentioned to me. And when someone says deep truths to me, that opens up my heart to know that people are willing to talk conversation about themselves as an individual. So when I saw the two words deep truths, I was like, you know, my heart is full. I'm ready to have a conversation with Mukbang and Things. So I just want to kind of share that out as a preface to the conversation. But of course, we're gonna cut up in here because that's what we do, and we got our sisters that are here that are gonna cut up for her and on her and us and me probably. But we definitely want to do all that. But I do want to say that I remember Mukbang and Things going into her live stream, y'all, and she was I'm watching her and I'm looking at her like, is she happy, is she mad, is she sad, is she angry? But she has this face. Let me take my glasses off. She has this face that she's looking at the chat like, don't go there. No, I'm not dealing with you today. Not today. No. I mean, that interaction that she has with the chat, you guys, it makes you want to just crack up. And then I walked into another live where people were talking about the door, and they're like, "Give him the door." I'm like, "The door? What is you talking about the door?" And I just fell out. So you just know that the type of personality that she has, she loves to engage with the audience that she's with. She loves to engage and chat with the folks and create those funny moments that she has. I mean, it could just be a look, and that's it. We all did, just from, just a look that she may have on a response that someone has. Or it could be the opposite, where she could be in the chat and she will engage folks. She was like, not the so and so, or not that, and that was it. It'll just make you everyone will start to engage and crack up. So that's where I've had the great interaction with her, is that ability to be able to crack up with her and to cut up. And she certainly is a leader in doing that. Besides Virgo Queen T cutting up on people, definitely Mukbang and Things and Keto Girl and Dining with Zion. All of y'all, when you guys get together, there is an amazing there's a camaraderie, there's a sisterhood that happens, and you all come into the chat and it's over. I mean, that chat will last for 3 hours, but you guys are having such an amazing time. So we want to bring on Mukbang and Things. If you guys are ready, make sure you guys hit that one. We have 35 people in the house, you guys. This is amazing to have such support for Mukbang and Things here in the house. They are very, very much a collective bond, the C Circle is saying. So I'm going to be I'm going to be missing some chats here, but we want to make sure we get her in as well. So we seeing those ones. Everyone is hitting those ones. Let's bring on our girl, Mukbang and Things. Are we here, sis? What's up?
Hi. Hey, everybody.
We're so happy to have you. What's going on, Mukbang and Things? No, you're cutting out just a little bit, and I think it might be You might be too far from the computer. Hold on, thing. Wait a minute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Okay, we're
Can
better.
they hear me? Y'all hear me? Hey, y'all.
Make sure you guys let me know if you guys can hear with a thumbs up or a one. Let's make sure that we can hear. Everyone can hear you.
Hey, everybody.
Looks like people can hear
Hey.
you. People are responding.
I'm looking at y'all comments. Hey, y'all.
I know they already saying hello. All right, they can hear you. What I'll do
Rams.
what I'll do to make it easier is if you are responding to something, I'll hit the mute button so that I won't any noise that comes on my end will be covered and you can be heard, okay?
Okay, great.
Perfect. I'm going to just go off of here really quick just to make sure. All right, we got 33 people in the house. We once had 38, but 33 people in the house is amazing. I appreciate y'all being here to support Let's Talk About It, and of course supporting our sis here. She is saying hi to everyone. Miss Diaz is in the house. She's walked in. Thank you, Miss Diaz. And our supporters come in. Shakita Jones has walked in. All right, everyone.
Keto, my love.
Keto Girl is here. All right, Tina
Oh,
Motatina, my sister Tina. Hello, Tina. How are you? Thank you so much for coming on board. All right, so we're gonna get into them.
hashtag the kids.
Yes,
Oh,
hashtag the Kansas is in the house as well. We are. You
hey,
already knew we.
Vicky.
You already knew we were coming. Vicky's World says, of course. So let me ask you a couple. Let me straight up question is why a YouTube channel? Why did you think? First of all, let me ask you something because in your YouTube channel in the about page, you do mention your name. So people know you by your name, but they also know you as
Yeah,
your
that's fine.
channel name.
Yeah, call me D. Everybody can call me D. D Levon, D, Mukbang, Mukbang, whatever you feel comfortable with, y'all. Don't
The
get
other
brand
the,
new.
the other day when Keto Girl was on and you called her, I was cracking up. She's like, "Don't you call me by my real name, girl?" And you was like, "She
Oh,
had
she
you remember
called
that?"
my full government.
She came out with the whole government name. That's the reason why, huh?
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure. I was like, wait a minute. I want to make sure that I don't cut up. Then when I looked at the about page, I was like, okay, she says it's your girl D. All right, so we will use D as the
Yeah.
name if
It's
you don't
the
mind.
girl my channel name.
There you go. All right, awesome. So let's see. We already have a question, but let's go ahead and get to that question before I mark this question from Cowgirl. Is why a YouTube channel? Why did you decide in July to do a YouTube channel?
Well, I was already trying to do it like the July before. I wanted to do one. I have been watching mukbangs for a long time. I have been watching series on YouTube. And me and my children were watching, and they was like, "Mommy, you should do a YouTube page." And I was like, "Yeah, I should." So we talked about it for months and months and months and months. So I really just wanted to do it because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I wanted to connect with some new people. Um, and then I put it off a couple of times. You know how you those little fears get in or whatever. But finally, and then I created the page in July, and I think I posted the thing like on August the 2nd. And I was like, I literally said to myself, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I just did it.
I think
So
what
yeah, I
what
just wanted to connect all of you guys. And it's been way more than I to be. Like I've received so much love. I made so many connections. Like I didn't expect it to be this, but I expected something good, but this has been great for me.
yeah.
So
I guess it depends on who the creator is because there's some people right now that have going through the process and they're frustrated, right? But then you have folks that are coming in a very positive uh, positive highway, and the experience is almost always positive. And if you come in positive,
Right.
what you going to what you come in positive, you attract positive. And so I think that's sometimes what happens with creators. If you come in with that lot, when you talk about being drama free, being, having a good time, that's exactly what you do for folks. And so I
Yes.
think,
And I met some awesome people, luckily, when I first came in. I don't even know how, like, I found them. One of the first people that I found that actually embraced me was Flavor Eats. And she embraced me from jump, from day one. And like I was always watching all her videos and stuff like that. She was just very supportive. Um, and so things like that helped you, to keep going. And like I was like marking the dates down in my book. Okay, August the 10th, I had this many people subscribe. August 20th, I had this many people subscribe. So it was great.
yeah, I mean, and then
Yeah.
you reach those little milestones. That 1K milestone is so important to us, and of course, the 4K milestone is important to us, which is going to be a hard
Right.
one for a lot of us. But um, Cowgirl does have a question, and she goes, "I only I have time for one question. Do you have a skin routine? Because your skin looks so pretty. I love you, boo."
Cowgirl. Thank you, boo. But honestly, it's just real basic. I use witch hazel. I wash my face with plain water, no soap. I use witch hazel and I use aquaphor. That's it
That's
for years.
it's that simple.
It's that simple. Yeah. And you got to do what works for you. That's what works for me. Because believe it or not, I have really bad skin.
You can't tell.
I have a really bad, so that works for me. I just know how
Wow,
to work it.
that's probably it. I swear, you in your 30s? Are you in your 30s?
I'm 47, boo.
You older than me? You do not look like you older than
I'm
me.
older than
You look real, real good, boo. You do not look like you past 38. I swear.
I hear that all the time, all my life. But I've just consider it a blessing.
Yeah.
I have really good things. Like, my mom was the same way. She's passed now, but my mom looked like a little girl.
She did.
So yeah.
My mom looks, my mom is 72. She don't look like she's 72.
Yeah.
All right. Let
Yeah.
me make sure I'm catching people because people are making some comments already. Keto says, Glory. Beauty with
Yeah.
T. Tawana's asking, have you
Hey,
ever,
I'm trying to
Mr.
still get used to the new name, Beauty with T.
I know, right? Tawana's
Think
asking, have
that's
you ever thought about giving up
oh my gosh. On what? On life?
on
On
YouTube?
YouTube?
Let's
Or both?
let's just let's just say YouTube for now.
No, not yet. That thought has not crossed my mind. I have gotten to a point where I have gotten fed up with things that I've seen around me, but never to the point that I wanted to give up ever. That's
Yeah,
just not a part of my.
yeah. I mean, there's one thing about giving up and not trying. And if you started in July and uploaded your first video in August, you barely a baby in the process.
I know, right?
And
Yeah.
it would be disconcerting to think that you just give up in a matter of 2 or 3 months. Um, so I could see that you want to push this through and get to the goals that you need to get. And
Yes.
in that process, I think you've learned to gain some great friendships and relationships along the way. Imagine August, September, October, November. In 3.5 months, how many sisters can you say you have on YouTube? When can you ever say you have those human connections where you can call them your sisters? That's hard to
It's
do.
been a yes, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. And I think everybody's journey is different.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be the same. It's not cookie cutter or
Right.
anything like that. You but it has been an amazing journey for me, and I have loved every connection that I have made. I truly have.
And you could see that. You
I
could see
truly
that.
have. That's my boo.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my boo. That's my first YouTube sister. So, we connected. I think I saw a video of hers, whatever, and then she was like, I'm a Virgo, and da 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 da. I'm like, I'm a Virgo too. So that was the initial connection. And then we just kept talking through watching each other's videos, and then it just organically blossomed. It wasn't
Yes.
something that was forced, anything like that. And then I met the keto girl. I met Dining with Zion. I met Pretty as a Peach. I met Blended Squad, and they all mean something differently to me.
Yes.
Like it's not, oh, I'm closer with this person or closer. I have relationships with all of them individually, which is
Eh,
very important.
yep.
And it's really a support and a sisterhood. You know, we talk and we realize that we have things in common that are not just YouTube, just life things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Um, Me and Keto have talked and connected on life issues. We've cried together. We've prayed together. Same with Virgo. We've done that too. Me and Peach have grown really, really close, and I've shared things with her that I haven't shared with the others, and probably vice versa with her. But
Right.
it's not a competition of who's closer, who's tighter, who's this, who's that. Donna with Zion, she'll call you and get you together
Mm-hmm.
in a nice little way and say, look, I'm gonna need you to do this and do that. She's the motivator. Okay? She is nothing bothers her. Period. Nothing bothers her. Keto, that's my emotional sister. She's very emotional. She's very deep feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And, but some, like Zion, nothing bothers her. Pretty as a peach, she is just straight for your head.
Yes,
But
she
at the
is.
end of the day, she's off the side.
Mm-hmm.
Blended Squad is a thug. Okay? Straight like that's how we connect.
Yeah.
But she has the biggest heart ever. She really does, and she will help anybody. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I love all of them individually. I love them collectively. We are all at different points in our YouTube journey, and it's okay. We support each other at whatever stage we're at, and we celebrate each other. I'm happy when Virgo reaches every milestone that she reaches. She shares things with me. I encourage her. Sometimes I have to pull back and say, no, sis, don't do that. I do that with all of them because I have a mothering spirit. I am older than all of them. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that just comes naturally. I beat them over the head with that, but they do come to me for. So, when I say I'm a bust peach upside her head, I mean, that's metaphorically. I ain't gonna really bust upside her head. If you push me, I will. If I have to bust your head to get you to move and be motivated, I'll do that because I
Right.
love you.
Right.
And that's just period.
And I think
So
as you're
yeah.
talking, I started to really think about how each individual that you meet on YouTube that you connect with feeds a certain part of your soul, right? So as you were talking
Yeah.
about that, you said something so poignant. You said this person's an emotional person. This person is, she nothing bothers her. Then you have this person that's straight up and gangster. I mean, they feed your soul in so many different ways, and you guys are
Yeah.
interconnected in that
So
way.
that's
You,
my preacher, that's
yeah,
my preacher. That's my reverend over there.
yeah. I love that. I think those
Yeah,
connections.
absolutely.
That's right. Those connections are important in order to develop that. Don't be skipping my questions, Tooth. I'm sorry. There's so much chat going on. Okay, let me make sure that I don't skip no questions because I know Miss Tawana has some really really good questions. Overall, when you're a beautiful person, you attract the same, is what Blended Squad is saying, which is so true. Everyone is saying hello to one another. Yes, we love our mukbang, our D. Let's see. One of the oh, here it goes. One of the most genuine people we've met on this platform, hands down, from hashtag the cannons.
And I love them. Let me just tell you, I
What a
love
great,
the cannons. They are my folks. I gotta tell you, they are my folks. I love them. I just connected with them again the same way organically, nothing forced or anything like that. And we just clicked like, like all their little backside little things that I get it all, you know what I'm saying? And I just love the candy. I really do. I love them.
Now, Tawana's asking, as a new YouTuber, what do you feel is your most challenging obstacle? That's a great question.
Um, Tawana, I guess just trying to be understood because I think on this platform, you look at a person's video for 10 or 12 minutes, and if you're a really good judge of character, you may be able to judge some things about them, but you can also misunderstand them.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying earlier too, I have a look about me like when I'm in my lives, I know I'm a more serious person.
Yes.
That's just how I am. And it's really because of the things that I've been through. So at first, I'm really guarded. I'm like that in every situation I am, whether it's the workplace, whether it's in school, when I meet new people. That's just how I am. It's a part of my chemical makeup because of what I've gone through. But it's just a look, you know what I'm saying? And it's a part of me that I had to grow to embrace because I would be like, downtown going to work, and people would stop me and be like, "Can you smile?" And I'd be like, "Can you?" No, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? But I am a sweet person, but I don't want to keep trying to sell myself like that.
Right.
I
And
just
you
want
have
you
to
to
be who you
discover
are.
that.
You have to be who you are.
Yeah.
You
So
can't
I
be
think
no one
that's
else.
the biggest obstacle has been being misunderstood because I've had people come at me and say, "I thought you was like really mean. I thought you was this, that, and the third," and that has not been the case.
Right.
So I think that's been my biggest obstacle. And that's why I like doing the lives because it's more intimate and you can really get to learn, things about your host in the live.
Right, absolutely. I love that. And what me walking in first time, I thought it was comedy. So for me, I didn't take it seriously. For me, I didn't take it as she mad. I was like, this is just how she is to get a point across. And so
Right.
that's what attracted me because it's that whole thing of for real, okay,
Right.
that kind of, and that's how my family and I cut up. We're like, oh, for real, that kind
Yeah,
of
it's
thing.
just kind of
Mm-hmm.
straight no chaser.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Look at
take
look at what Pretty as a Peach said. I'm gonna knock her head off after this interview.
Peach kept me up all night. I was so tired getting to work this morning fooling with her.
Sis, why gotta be a thug, Mukbang and Thangs? Is what Blended Squad said.
I made it a good way, Kena. I'm a thug too.
Don't get it twisted. Beauty with T says, Toop, why do you look 10 years younger? What you been doing? It's the lighting, girl. Psh, we got some new lighting up in this place. So the lighting works wonders. And I'm actually sweating up under these lights. Not a thug. See, that's what I love. When y'all come out there and y'all be like, not a thug, not a this, not a that. I mean, y'all, the way that you guys engage with each other, it's an amazing relationship that you guys have. Virgo, the door. Okay, there go the door.
What Virgo done did?
Man, the onions are peeling in this bee. Oh, y'all getting emotional?
I love you, Virgo.
Y'all getting emotional up in here? I am so behind in the chat, y'all. Make sure don't miss anybody. I saw I love Smoochie. What's going on, Smoochie? I seen Miss Doreen in the house. Thank you, Miss Doreen, for coming on in. I appreciate you, my love. The Creative Creoles in the house. I just want to say that she's such an amazing person with a big heart. She inspires me. She keeps me on track. She helps and loves on me unconditionally, and that is unspoken love. She is my sister. Woo!
Yes, for sure.
I'm telling you, those
Love.
are heartfelt. Those are heartfelt words. Dining with Zion says, "What motivates you to keep going? Is it me? Is it for me or for? You know what? this show keeps me moving because I'll tell you right now, I haven't uploaded a video since this past Monday, and I was doing daily videos back in what, September. Every single day, I had a video coming out. After my vacation that I had, I fell down to like 3 videos a week. I haven't had a video. I have videos to post up, but there's just been some. We have so much life stuff that kind of goes on that kind of sidetracks you.
Right.
Like, for example, a 40-hour
Yeah.
work job that you got to deal with. Then we moved.
Okay.
My dad's 1 year death anniversary. Just a lot of stuff happened. Life kind of just happens, but this show keeps on motivating
Mm.
me. My this show keeps on. I Someone asked me, if you get monetized, how will will you get rid of the show? Because is you using it just for the lives, for the hours? And I said, actually, I love the show more than I like the mukbangs, the stuff that I do on the do the car bongs or mukbangs and stuff. So no, I'm gonna keep the show. I love getting to know fellow creators.
Yeah.
I love getting to know who they are,
Yeah.
what makes them tick, that human connection that I get. So you get burnt out? Absolute. I do. I've gotten burnt out. So I'm trying my best to try to keep on a schedule of at minimum Thursday and a Sunday to do these shows because honestly, we still got to get those hours. And so we still got to do the right thing to try to get those hours and do that work. Let's see, you're right because a lot of people don't get the way we interact with each other. We love you too, D.
Oh, I love y'all.
Look at that. Blended Squad. He ignored my questions. I'm going to show up in his living room in a minute. I'm not ignoring them. I can't see them. We have 35 people in the house, y'all. That's a lot of people to have to tend to. Grab your drinks, grab your treats. Come on now, more eats.
Or eat table.
My love, more eats. I gotta get more eats up on this show. Look, I am so behind. I met D through Virgo as I did a lot of people. This is a beautiful person. I'm so glad I met you. I love sweet, positive, loving, and straightforward. No chase. Stay you. Keep moving forward.
Love you, Maria. That's my
Ev-
boo.
Look at that
Her and
mukbang.
Vicky's world.
Carter's Eat is saying, that is an inspiration. You want to talk about some inspiration up in YouTube? Carter's Eat definitely is an inspirational
Yeah.
woman, and I can't wait to have her on my show. Thick and Chunky, Thick and Chunky show is in the house. I make sure I'm not missing anyone because I'm about to get my head beat up. Oh, that question was for Mukbang and Thangs. Look at me answering that question. Now I have to go back
What
to
was
that
the question
question. I know.
again?
No, what was that question? Look, Mukbang is a thoroughbred, and I've grown to love and have mad respect for her. She's truly one of a few that keeps me going. She just don't know.
I love you, Vicky. I really, really do. I feel the same way about you. We gonna hook up soon, girl. We're gonna take that road trip to Detroit.
Now you guys don't live too far, right? Is your closest one?
Yeah,
You're where now?
a
Which
couple of
state?
hours.
Which state are
I'm
you
in
in?
Baltimore.
Okay, and then she's in Jersey, so
I'm in
that's
Baltimore.
not far. That's not far at all.
Few hours.
Yeah, you guys got to hook up and take a drive to Detroit with me with MRTV.
Yes.
Beauty with T's gonna kick my tail. She goes, Tooth, I posted like 10 questions and I'm old. I can't remember what I said, Lord Jesus. And I probably can't even find them now. That's
Oh
how I
no.
am because people always say it can be the bad. And I'm like, bruh, I'm good. From the Blended Squad. I always thank Virgo all the time for letting me meet people like Mukbang so down to earth and beautiful.
Oh, Lala, thank you.
I'll tell you something. You have inspired so many people. People that are in here supporting you and being here for you. Um, Look at you have Carter's just saying you look amazing, beloved. Um, I'm telling you, you've
Thank
inspired
you.
so
That's
many.
my boo.
Look, 37,
Carter,
37, 38 people in the house. That's a lot of folks that are supporting you, sis. So just know that you are certainly an
love
inspiration to a lot of folks.
you.
And they're here to hear more about who you are as a person. The mukbang, you didn't read my comment to Mukbang and Things. The door. Oh, shit. I'm getting the door of my
Okay.
own live, y'all. Look,
She
if
came
y'all
to the
have
whole.
when you get 40 people up in the chat, you let me know how to deal with it because I'm inevitably going to be skipping some comments because I'd be 10 minutes behind and be like, where'd the person go? The person's gone.
Right.
Because it just kind of skips right through and you're like, dang. Yes, you guys are amazing. Waiting for my bookings. Come on, more eats. You about to be on my show, boo. We going to get you in too. Yes, honey, the inspiration gang is in the house. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? All of you guys inspire me in so many different ways. Like I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
there's so many avenues in who you are as a part of a person, and so each and every one of you have that a specialness about who you are. It's that uniqueness of who you are. Speaking of uniqueness, one thing that I found very interesting was a relationship you developed with another YT creator. And I've been to her lives, and I may just be sitting in the background, but you're cheering this person on, and it inspired me to, and it showed me about who you are as a person. You support everybody as much as you can, especially if that
Mhm.
person is a genuine person. So I'm going to shout out Veronica Oglesby TV because there's multiple times that I've walked in and kind of just listened in because I'll be at work, or maybe at the middle of the night you'll be in there having a conversation with her, and then next thing you know, here comes a collab that y'all did together. So she is an amazing woman, as it is, but just knowing that you support a lot of people, tell me about why Veronica Oglesby TV. What was it about her that made you guys click?
Sure. I love Veronica. She's just she has an amazing story. She has an amazing testimony, and I think that's why I connected with her. I actually met her in Carter's live. Like I have so many people, and we just like clicked immediately. And we talked and stuff like that. I love Veronica. I love to support her because she is a true supporter. That girl goes hard. She really goes hard, and she has a lot of things on her plate, with raising her family, with her work, with her advocacy work and stuff like that. I connect with her in that way. And we have talked outside of YouTube, and I really appreciate that bond that we started to. I love Veronica, I really do. And that's the thing about YouTube. It connects you with people that you may not have met otherwise. It doesn't have to, it's not all black and white. It's not like we a gang of folks over here and we only deal with these and we only deal with these. No, it's a wide range of people for you to know, and you have to get to know other people. But like I said, it wasn't anything forced, anything like that. It was just a true organic thing. And when we talked about doing a collab, she was just like, I'm so excited, my thing. And I'm like, I'm so excited, Veronica. But yeah, I love her. So I will stay up late nights with her and be at her live because we're on a different time zone.
Yeah,
Just to be there as support to her. So yeah, I love Veronica.
that's amazing, and those are kind of
Yeah.
connections that you wouldn't make out. I mean, you probably would just because that's your personality, but those are connections you make specifically on YouTube, right? Where you get to meet someone, you connect with them on that human level, that experience that they have. You honor that, you cherish that, and you guys develop a relationship. But I don't want to miss this out because Keto Girl gonna give me the door again, or Keto Girl gonna give me the door because Dining with Zion already did. Mukbang, you already know how I feel. I am one of the people who misunderstood you, but as our sisterhood grew, my love grew for you even more. Same as it did for all of my sisters, my angel on earth. Look at that. See?
I love you, Keto. Keto-licious.
Mukbang and thanks. Here we go. Let me make sure Dining get her get her comment in. We rise together, we grow together. You're a remarkable person. I love you, sis.
Love you, Zion. You're so right.
Yeah, here we go. You click on my comment and didn't read it again. You are fired. How many doors you gonna put me through, boo? How many doors? Just let me know.
You
LaShawn
know, we
Terry's in the house. I saw Tasty Mafia in the house earlier. Who am I missing?
Sean.
Miss Newton's is in the house. All right, I'm hoping I don't miss all 38 people in the house, man. This is just exciting to have so many people here, to be here with you.
Yes, it's incredible. I love y'all.
And here we go. Look, don't have me pull my bonnet out at MRTV because we not gonna cut up like that today. Tooth, you done got fired off your own show. Really? We gonna do that today? We gonna pull out some wigs for y'all cutting up on me. We gonna get it together. But let's get into some deep questions. I think one of the things that like I mentioned earlier when she said deep, we're gonna cut up and have some deep truths conversation. Again, that opened up my heart, and I just said, you know what? It's let's have a conversation. And every person's gonna have a certain story of what they've gone through in their life, what they've recovered from, or what they're going through, and really creates the totality of who they are in this present moment. Right. So your experience always is the foundation of who you are today. So I think one of the things that I we wanted to talk about was, if you're open to it, D, is having that conversation about something that's true, that's dear to you, as far as what you've gone through in your life. And I know you've mentioned this before in other lives, but there's probably a number of people in this chat that have not heard the story. But I think it's important to have
Sure.
a conversation about this because how many people or women go through this on a daily basis. And I could tell you
Right.
that my mom and in my family, we've gone through this. So I'll let you open up the topic and then we'll see what people say. Is that okay?
Sure.
Awesome.
Sure. So you talking about the domestic violence thing. Yeah, I was in a domestic violence relationship for many, many years, from a really young age, with the father of my children. I have four children, by the way, guys. If y'all don't know, some of y'all know, but I have four children. Three of them are adults, and I have one 12-year-old. She has a different father. The three older ones have the same dad. But we were together for a long time since we was like 17. And he was abusive. And it took me a long time to realize what that was, like what that really meant. And first of all, let me go back generation and say that my mom was in an abusive relationship. So with my stepfather, and I saw that growing up as a kid, and I said to myself, that would never be me. I will never go through anything like that. And I did judge my mother as a kid, like, why didn't she leave? Why won't you just leave? And, eventually we did leave. And then I grew up to end up in the same kind of relationship. So yeah, the father of my children, he was an excellent father to my kids. He was a great provider to me and my children, but he was also abusive, and that's just the truth about it. He had some other issues that he was dealing with, some mental issues, alcoholism came into it and stuff like that. And I dealt with that for a long time. I dealt with the mental abuse and the emotional abuse and the financial abuse for many, many years. Like, he probably only hit me like once or twice. And I'm not saying that like it ain't no light thing, but I'm just saying he didn't need to continue to hit me to control me. He controlled every part of my life. I depended on him for everything. At the time, I wasn't working. I was like an at-home mom and stuff like that. We had this beautiful, gorgeous home, and on the outside it looked real good, and we were young. So, it's like, oh, they doing it. They living a life. But once we went in the house, he was a monster. And it was hard to convey to people what I was living because he portrayed this great guy. Like, all they saw was that he took great care of me. I had anything that I wanted, all the material things, and, the best car, and, fur coats and all that stuff like that. But it was hell. It was true hell. And I didn't know where to go or what to do. Every time I went to my family, they was always like, well, what did you do? So they were judging me, which is a big misconception with domestic violence. It's like, what did you do? So when I was going through that situation with him, and I finally got to a place where I was like, I want to leave and I want to stay gone, because I had left many times over the years. This went on for daggone near 20 years. So I had left many, many times over the years, but I always went back. He always knew where to come at and get me. It was always a candlelight dinner. It was always, I'm sorry. It was always a diamond ring. It was always something big, to say that I'm sorry. But he would always go back to his same old ways. And um, for 2 years, I prayed continuously. Like I would lay out in my closet because that was my only refuge. I would get in my closet and lay out and pray before God. And that's why whenever when any house that I've been in, apartment or anything, I always have a closet where I have like a prayer room and I set it up a certain way because that's what I come from. And that got me through. So I would just lay out there and I would just cry out to God. After I sent my kids off to school or whatever, I would just go back and I would just cry out to pray to God, get me out of this situation. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. When he would come in the house drunk, or he would come in the house hot, he would come in the house going crazy, I would be in my Bible because I didn't know any other way to deal with it. And I feel like God wanted to get my attention and to get me out of that situation. And sometimes when you're in a certain situation, whether it's a job, a bad relationship, or anything, God will shake things up, to get you to move. And for me, that shakeup was my kids. Like he had never been abusive to my children. He had never mistreated my children. True, indeed, they knew what was going on with us, no matter how much I tried to hide it, because kids are not stupid. But he never came for my children. And then this one particular night, he came for my children. And that's when I left and I never went back. I never went back. And I left with nothing. I left with the clothes on my back. I grabbed my children and I left. And I went into a situation where I was like, it was truly motivated by God too. I'm not kidding you. I wasn't thinking in my right state of mind. I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I was so broken. But God was ordering my steps. I called the police and they was like, where you want to go? And I'm like, I know I can't go to none of my family because he only gonna come there to get me. So the police officer was like, we can set you up in a hotel. They set me up in a hotel for 2 nights. They gave me a list of resources. I called these phone numbers and I went into a shelter with my children. I'm not ashamed to tell that story because it is my truth.
Right.
And all my family looked at me like, because let me tell you, I have a very bougie family. I have a family of overachievers, okay? Stuff like this don't happen in my family. You going in a shelter? What? Yes, I am. I went in a shelter with my kids and I changed my entire life. I built myself from the ground up. At the time, I was uneducated. I wasn't working or anything like that. I was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And I was just like, these are the things that I want to do. I want to go to school to do this, to do that, and I did it all. And that's my story.
I mean,
I
I
never, and after that, I started helping other women who were going through that same situation.
the,
So I'm sorry, y'all, if that was a lot to take.
no, I
I'm
was
just
trying
trying
to
to get it
hold.
all
I'm
in.
trying to hold back my tears only because just the thought of my mom going through the same situation, right? And then, but one thing that you said that was really extremely poignant was when you said when God moves and shakes things for you to act, you do it. And at that moment, you said, "I'm going to do it." It didn't matter what was going on around you. You were going to get the hell up out of there, and you did that. And even not being afraid to do to go through like almost restarting your life. Does that make any sense? Because you knew that that decision was God's will and that God was going to see you through the whole entire process. And he did. You know, he empowered you to be able to move and to do the things that you
Yeah,
had to do. The story with my mom was that she said she didn't want to leave because she didn't want to have a broken family and have
right,
us separated as kids. Um, but I even got angry and said it did at that point, at age 15, 14, 15, we was grown enough to you could have just left. You could have just gone.
right.
But she was like, "But I love this man." And so I couldn't understand exactly where, you know, she was coming from. And she stayed until he died. You know, until he died, his last breath. My mom was laying next to him when he took his last breath at the hospital, and I thought to myself, how could you have stayed that whole time? And even to his last breath, my dad was 84. Um, stay next to a man who abused you, was an alcoholic, who, you know, what made you stay? So there's the other flip side where women do stay, and it's hard to accept that my mom herself stayed. Um, but even the last 10 years, it wasn't the physical anymore because dad was too old. It was the verbal that was still, you know, hurtful to her. Um,
Right.
but she was able to to go through it. I don't know how she did it, but bless her heart for, you know, being able to stay. And
The
some
grace of,
women,
and many women stay for
hmm
years. They have similar situations like you were talking about until the person dies. And it's not easy to just get up and leave. It's not. And it's so many factors that are involved. The biggest factor of all is finances.
yeah,
And again, that thing you were saying about the broken family. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be like a statistic or anything like that. I had my first kid when I was 20, but I just didn't want to be like have my children raised in a different house and all that stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I felt like I was causing more harm to my children living in that type of environment.
right.
You know what
And
I'm saying? So
I think
it's
the
I
young I think our generation understands that, but I think the older generation didn't get it yet. You know, because you're what,
right.
25 years younger than my mom. So her thing was, as an older married couple, was we stay for life regardless of what you're going through,
Right.
abuse or not. So that was out of the question, you know, of leaving because of that, even as hurtful
Talk
as it
about it.
was. Huh?
We don't talk about it. We
Right.
keep it hush hush.
Yep, it was a huge silence for a very long time until I was in my 20s that I had that conversation with my mom. So, and that's 20 years ago. And the verbal abuse was still happening 20 years ago. And even when we said, Mom,
Which
move here
is
or come live with us and, you know, blah, blah, she still refused to leave. Wouldn't
yeah.
do it. And so there have been some comments on here. I want to make sure I get to it because Blended said something like, um, oh, wait a minute. This is why I want to build a safe haven for abused women and children. I've been there. I'm claiming it. I'm in tears because I know what she went through, Mukbang. Oh, see?
Oh,
The story that
yeah.
you tell is not just for yourself, it's for others. And you are certainly have strength that the strength that you've been able to just take on, you know, making those moves, inspire a lot of people, you know, and so people see that. When you go through abuse, that residue on you from the past, that's not the thing we have to overcome so we don't carry it to another relationship. Oh, there, Blended Squad said too, if it's easier said than done, love. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And I went through years of therapy, guys. I'm not ashamed to say it. I went through years of therapy to undo all of that damage that had been done to me because it was very damaging to my spirit. It was very damaging to me as a person. It was things about me that I didn't know that allowed me to be in this type of relationship and accept that.
Right.
It's something about you that connects or attracts that type of relationship. And it's usually because we don't know who we are. And at that time, I didn't know who I was as a woman. I didn't know who I was as a person. And I definitely didn't love myself back then. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't.
Because there was a
But when I got
reliance.
free, I got free.
Because there was a reliance on someone else, right? Because there was a dependency on someone else. That oftentimes we forget
Yes.
about who we are as a person and love ourselves in that way. Keto Girl says, my kids still resent me till this day for staying as long as I did, but nobody can tell you when to leave. You have to be ready. You have to have that breaking
Yeah.
point that will make you leave.
Yep.
I got
And
no
my breaking
problem.
point was when he came after my kids. And I had, you ain't gonna mess with my kids. I gotta
That
go.
That was it. I got no problem letting a dude go. I'm 48. I don't have time. You hit me nowadays, you gonna wake up in a grave. That's true.
Okay, Tawana, straight like that. But at 20 years old, I ain't know who I was. I
Yeah.
really didn't.
Bless your heart for trusting God and stepping out on faith. Absolutely.
Thank you, Chanel.
All right. I'm making sure that I'm going through this. Yes, when we don't talk about it, there does depression and etc. It's a lot. There goes, oh yeah, the depression. I mean, there's a lot that goes on with when you're in those kind of relationships and having to recover from those kind of things. You're broken down as an individual, right? And I could see my mom kind of breaking
Yeah,
down from time to time, having to deal with that. I think the biggest thing that I've seen from her is her nervousness, is the way that she would get nervous about certain things. And I've never seen that before, but I think it was just the residual of the abuse that she's gone through of having to walk on eggshells. You know, for her, it was easier to go to work three jobs, y'all. My mom worked two and a half jobs, two full time and a part time. It was easier for her to be up out the house and working two and a half jobs than it was for her to be home and have to deal with that,
to
abuse
deal
that
with
she.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In my
So I,
state, I was used to shop. That was my escape. I had a damn shopping addiction. That was a whole nother problem I had to get rid of because that was attached to this.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's the truth of the matter. That's what it really was.
Yeah.
But again, it was a very painful time of my life. I don't carry no shame with that. I always say I'm going to tell my story before anybody else can tell it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was really, really close with my kids' dad's family because we grew up together. We were
Yeah.
together since we were children. We were in each other's lives for like over 20 years. And we spent every Christmas together, holidays, all that. We were very close. They were close. Our families were intertwined. So this was rough on them. But then when I finally got free, and a part of my freedom was telling my story, they ain't like me no more. And I'm like, I can't not tell my truth to live your lie.
Right.
My
That
life was
denial. The denial.
yeah, so it is what it is. And I don't, my oldest daughter is 27 years old. So I can tell this story without breaking down in tears because that used to be me. But I claim victory over the whole situation. Thank you, God,
Mm-hmm.
because it used to be really hard for me. But if I can help even one person just with saying it, then that's all I need. Just help somebody get free. Even if it's just, let me tell you, after I had that live with Zion and we talked about the domestic violence thing, and I haven't shared this with anybody, I don't think. I had a lot of women, and I will never reveal who they are, that watch that. They didn't comment on it at the time, but they reached out to me and they thanked me. And they was just like, thank you for telling your story. You were telling my story, and I feel stronger because I heard your story and things like that. And I told each and every one of them, if you need me, I'm here. I'm not judging you because, like somebody in the chat said earlier, it's easier said than done. Everybody has their own pace and time. My
Mm-hmm.
prayer is that you just get forced because a lot of women do die. And that's my whole thing.
Right.
Like, I don't want you to die, lose your life.
And
So yeah.
I think your story is one that, because you've gotten to a point of understanding who you are, you're able to share it freely, and wholeheartedly tell who you are, your person, who you are in your heart. But I think when people respond to you, you're giving them that hope, because really, sometimes you just give up all hope. And
Yes.
my mom gave up hope. She was just like, "This is what it's going to be until he dies," and that's exactly what happened to her. Stayed in the relationship, but there are women out there don't even have that. They're broken down so much that they don't have any kind of hope.
Yeah.
And these are kind of stories that people want to know, that there is hope for change. That person will
Hey,
you will come out of that, and you'll be an even better person out of that situation.
Yeah, like look at me. Let me be your living testimony or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm a college graduate. I work hard every day. I'm still in school. I got college children.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can get past that. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to inspire people. That's it. If I tell my story, it's never me boasting or bragging or anything like that. I just want to help somebody else get free. That's just who I am as a person. I'm not going to dim who I am. And those who get it, they get it. I think
Yeah.
those who need to connect with it do.
They will. They will. And if you could touch one or two, three people, you've done your job. But guess what? You'll always interact with people that's going to be going through something that we may not know because it's a public forum, right? And not everyone's going to be as open as you, but they are listening. And they are reaching out to say, thank you for sharing your story because you're telling my story. Those are moving words when someone says that. And it takes a lot of guts to be able to even say, D, you're telling my story. Thank you for telling my story. I think it's time for me to
Yeah.
take some action in this. Um,
Yeah.
and for you to be able to listen to them or just see a message from them and responding back and praying for them and showing them some resources that they needed that they would need to do what they got to do. um, you're just an avenue for them to get out of it, which is great. Yeah, it's
Just a
damaging.
vessel.
Yes, it's damaging self-esteem. Everything gets shattered. You feel worthless. You've got to be strong. Breaking the chain of abuse isn't easy, but if you want to live, but when you find out who you are, glory. Vicky's World says, my past almost caused me to lose my God sent husband. I didn't know how to love because all I knew was fighting and arguing. So happy.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Vicky. That is so true.
I'm missing so many chats, guys, because hold on. Many people stay for fear of being judged. It takes so much strength and courage to step out on faith, a mother's love. And we have to be non-judgmental about it. That's, I think, the other
Yeah.
part of that is that I may not have gone through that experience, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and judge, but other people will. That's something we can't stop. But
Right.
find the support for the people that do. My mama worked here her butt off and had to come home to a fool. Thank God for deliverance. We must have missed the
Yeah.
story when my phone cut off. We pray for any women in that situation, but Lord knows if my mom's fiance would even think to touch her, my mukbang's gonna be live from a prison cell. AJ said.
Okay, AJ.
Mukbang baby, I'm so glad God delivered you from it all, and you are now walking in His victory. Absolutely.
Hey, my treasure boo.
Some people can't handle the truth. Oh well, tell your truth, sis. And that's
Yes.
amazing.
Let's talk.
I mean, that's just to me. It's like, okay, now I'm telling the truth, and you can't accept my truth, so now you're gonna hate me for telling the truth. So you really weren't me. You weren't. You didn't love me anyway. You didn't love me then, because now I'm telling the
Yeah.
truth about what's going on with the man, and you want to cover for him
Mm-hmm.
and deny that he was doing that. So you're gonna hate on me for telling my truth. Did they really love you?
Right.
He questions that,
Right.
right? Is that
Yep.
relationship still gone?
The family,
Uh huh.
that's that's dissolved. It's done.
Wow.
It's done.
And the kids too, though. The kids don't have a relationship over there either.
They have a relationship with their family. Their dad is deceased. Oh
Oh.
yeah, that was the other part of the story. He was killed. Um,
Oh my God.
maybe about 3 years after I left, he was murdered, and um, we were actually at a place where we were friends again, and like talking, laughing, co-parenting, stuff like that. It was for us, it was over. But like he had given his life to Christ, he had gone through some therapy and stuff himself. So I was glad that he had moved in that way. But yeah, he was killed. So, and my children were young. They were young. They were like 12, 7, and 5. So yeah, so they grew up without their dad. You know, the 12-year-old and 7-year-old, they pretty much had memories or whatever. But my son, he didn't really have any memories, so I had to pretty much tell them about him and stuff like that. But a part of me telling them about who he was, I had to tell them that too because that's just
Yeah.
the type of parent I am.
Right.
You
You
know,
had to tell
but
the whole thing.
I had to tell them the whole thing because I have spoken in churches. I've spoken to women about this situation, and my children have always been in the audience cheering me on. So I didn't want them to go and hear me telling the story and be like, "What is mommy talking about?" So I had to be honest with them and just tell them, you know, what it was and how it happened, you know, and not discount the love that he had for them, you know. But he was a very broken individual himself. But this is still my truth. I have to
Right.
tell my truth.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Bradford TV, hello. I love you, brother. Thank you so much, my buddy, for coming on in. I saw so many I love you too, so I just want to make sure I don't miss that. Um, my daughter's father was killed as well, so I know that hurt too.
Yeah. We've talked
Which,
about that with each other.
yeah, when so once you get to a point, and let me ask you about this. So once you get to a point where there's deliverance on the other side, your truth is still your truth. Where does forgiveness come into play? Because I want to talk about that because a lot of people don't have the heart to forgive those that have gone through those kind of situations. Those are hurtful situations, and so
Hmm.
there has to be some type of forgiveness that you've gone through. How did you deal with that?
And let me tell you, I used to be a really angry person, like really, really angry. Um, Especially dealing with what I had went through with that relationship. But it even started before then. It was some stuff in my childhood again that didn't come back out until I went to therapy. But I was a very angry person, and that angriness in me, it just made me hard and unable to forgive in a lot of ways. So I had to learn to do that. And then it was like this forgiveness, like I had to accept that the forgiveness was for me, you know,
Yep.
not so much about the other person, but for me. And the only way that you can really break free of any type of bitterness, you know, and all of those ill feelings and that angriness, you have to forgive. And
Yep.
it's definitely easier said than done. To forgive your abuser, that's huge. To
Yeah,
forgive
it's
the
huge.
person that hurt you, that is huge. But I did it. And I'm glad that I did that while he was still alive. You know, that we talked about that we had a conversation, that he realized all the errors of his ways, and but I was doing that for me. And that is very important because I feel like this. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm God fearing. You know, God comes first. I might cut up and all that stuff like that, but that ain't got nothing to do. God know my heart. He know who I
Mm-hmm.
am. He know I'm a fool. He know I'm a cut up. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I want to be closer to Him. So, and I know I fall short every day, and He forgives me and He accepts me. So, if God can be that way, think of all the ways that we have let down. Think of
Right.
all the ways that we get don't acknowledge, you know, when we don't stand in the fullness of who God is, for waking us up each and
Yep.
every morning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for having a roof over our heads and stuff like that, and for not acknowledging Him and reverencing Him. God still loves us in spite of it, and He forgives us. You know,
Every single
He
day.
forgives us. I don't know. So I have, if my pattern is to be Christ-like, I have to have that forgiveness in me. So that's what I do. People wrong me, and I forgive them. I ain't no fool now,
Right.
but I will forgive. I forgive. You know, you ain't gonna keep doing me, boo, but I forgive you. You know,
Right. And
so
part of that
I would just
is
say, you know, that please, please do that self. Forgive
it is
for
really
you.
for the individual yourself to be able to let go of that and not harbor your heart, because oftentimes And I think it really goes to show the maturity of who you are, not the age, but the maturity of how you dealt with that. Is that part of as you get older and wiser, you don't let those kind of things hinder your heart or your soul. You just ain't got time. Number one, but number two, why even self-inflict pain, right? So if I can let go of it and I have the ability to do that, and it is in my heart and soul to do that, then I'm gonna do it, right? Because I'm now loving myself enough to release all of that, the anger, that hurt, that pain. I have control over that now because I no longer
Yeah.
live in the past. I'm not in that situation that's causing that pain. I'm in the present. I'm in the now. I have the authority to release it at this very moment. It doesn't exist anymore. Once you throw that out there
Right.
and no longer exists, you are free. There's something to be said about
Yeah.
just being unchained from that hurt, that pain, that what you go through in life. But we all ultimately have that authority to do so. It's going to be us that
Yeah.
says that, to make that
Yes.
action. It's not easy. Like you said, it's definitely not easy. But once you get into a point in your life where you say, I'm done. Nothing's going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt me. I'm only hurting myself. If I allow it to be painful to myself, I release it to God and allow it to be. It is what it is.
Yes. And we
Um,
all have the power within us to do that. Just let
mhm.
it go. You don't have to carry it alone. You know,
Absolutely
just
not.
let it go. And to reach out to somebody for help, a healthcare professional, whatever, do that. Whatever it takes to get you free, whatever it takes to get you feeling whole
Yes.
again, do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Camp House Barbecue says this has to be my favorite episode. I'm here just listening. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Hermano, for being here.
Oh,
If you learn to forgive, it's not for the other person. It's actually heals you. It's not for them. It's for you.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I had to forgive. I'm skipping so many comments. Jesus. We are going through so many comments. We still got 34 people in the house. I am so thankful. I had to forgive so I could move on. Nobody ever renting space in my head for free anymore. Right? That's so true.
Okay.
Let's see here. Make sure that I don't miss out on anybody. Amen. Judy Turner's in the house. Hey, Miss Judy Turner. How are you? Miss you, my love. Hope you are doing well. I love God. Bradford TV says, yes, I just did a video on forgiveness. Speak it. All right, Chanel Adams. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see.
Yes.
Amen. This flesh must die daily. I need more Jesus and less mess. That's
Yes.
true. I forgive you for skipping my comment. You are rehired. Only Dining with Zion would do that, huh? You the only one that would give me the dough like that twice and then rehire me. It's a hard process, but it feels good when you get to that point. Forgiveness equals freedom. Ain't that the truth? I think in my younger years, never thought about it from that perspective. But at age 30, I'm 45 now, but probably in my late 30s is when I realized, why am I harboring all this ill will? It don't exist no more. I'm not being pained by my dad. He's not being verbally abusive to me right now. Like I'm trying to live this. I'm trying to be an adult and trying to live it um, from a freedom perspective. But I allowed his words from when I was 10 years old rule me who I was as a person, and I had to realize I had to let all that shit go. you know, I'm a whole different
Let
person. I'm an
all go.
adult. And it wasn't until my mid to late 30s that I realized 10 years ago that I understood what forgiveness truly was. I ain't a
Wow.
fool, just like you said. I'm not a fool. You ain't gonna go there no more. But I know that's right. Ain't nobody keeping me in bondage. I forgive you. Now get on. Bye, Felicia. That's why I'm so happy and jolly. Laughter is my healing. I know what God has brought me from when I found my purpose, baby. That's right.
Yes, Virgo.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Toof, you got your job back. I sure did. I am blessed. Miss Judy Turner says yes. All right. Let me make sure that I'm not missing out on anybody here. We still got 34 people in the house. Is there something, Mukbang, this shot I'm taking is for you To strength. Cheers. Miss Vicky's World is saying. You know,
Yes, Vicky.
I do have a
Thank you.
bone. I do have a bone of contention because a lot of us, as far as mukbang channels and food channels, right? We all have our different things and what we do. So I do want to ask a question about the food that you eat, right? So let me ask on because I am not an expert here. So you are. You certainly are the expert on vegan dishes and vegan food, vegan lifestyle. Is that
Yes.
what you is that how many years have you been doing the vegan lifestyle?
It'll be 2 years in January for me. So yeah, I'm just like 2 months shy of 2 years. Um, I eat plant based, so
And how has that
no
changed your
animal.
yeah, how has that changed your life?
Um, in a lot of ways, I felt like somebody asked me just earlier today, do you feel like you have more energy since you went vegan? And I used to feel like that. I did. Like I had a lot of more, I have so much more energy and stuff like that. But I'm always tired, because I have a lot going on. I have a really, really full life. I probably only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, and that's just how I'm used to rolling. My day starts really early, it ends really late.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just like, the choice that I made for myself. Um, and I did it because I watched the documentary. The documentary scared me.
Right.
More so, it was, disgusting to see all the things that animals go through.
Yes.
But I'm not an animal rights activist. I can't proclaim to be that. So I ain't even gonna front like that. For
Right.
me, it was more so about the health benefits of what I had seen my family go through and die from, the heart disease, the diabetes, and things
Diabetes.
like that. And I'm trying to change some curses in my family, health wise.
Right.
So at the time, I felt like I'm still in good health. Let me go ahead and change this now. And I just, it wasn't a big deal. It was just a conscious effort. Like it wasn't like a lot of people say, was it hard for you? It wasn't because I knew the reason why I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I just really transitioned into it very, very smoothly. I stopped eating meat from that night that I watched that documentary, and I didn't eat it again. Now, I did have a couple slip ups where I might have ate some gristle off a chicken bone or ate some fried fish a couple times at the beginning. But and I've told that truth or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, if I eat something that has like some cheese in it or something like that, and I don't know until after I eat it, I don't beat myself up about that because I'm not. I still wear leather. I still wear fur. I'm not that type of vegan. That's why I just say I'm plant based.
Right.
But it's hard out here for a vegan girl. Okay, it's hard. I
Because
had
there's not
whole
real.
harvest day, and it was no vegan girl. They had a salad that was full of chicken and feta cheese. It was a corn maybe.
Did they make anything special
It's
for
hard.
you or no?
It was a lot of they made the food and brought it in, and I ain't really into potlucks or whatever, But even the stuff that was store brought, and and I feel I'm always defending my food choices. Like, why do I have to do that? Why nobody else has to do that? You want to eat a pig, eat a damn pig. I ain't judging you for that.
And
Let
that's my
me eat my
favorite food.
flakes in peace.
I do want. I have
Yeah.
another question on some misconceptions because that was the video that what you did with Virgo with Veronica about the 5 misconceptions of vegan. So I wanted to ask you that question, but before we do that, I want to make sure I'm acknowledging a couple people. Judy says, "When I prayed and asked Jesus to forgive me, He gave me the power to forgive others." Isn't that amazing? Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Um,
Amen.
Ozzy Outlaw said he just had kangaroo burgers. Um, Hey Ray Raquisha, what's going on? That Blended says right, that was my reason too, but I gotta get back on it. Oh, so we got some other people that do vegan, have a vegan lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
Every time I try, Popeyes calls me. Okay, Virgo, me too, sis. That happened to me too. The pork be calling me though. You know, Filipinos love them some pork though. Shoot. Let me see who am I saying. People are dying. Um, let's see. Yep, I'm moving back into vegetarianism. Cancer is running rampant. Generational curses be gone. Aussie Outlaw says plants have feelings too. Yes, they do. plants plants have feelings too. Ozzy, you're funny. Chicken is my weakness. I can't wait to get some
It was.
recipes from D. I'm so sick of chicken. I'm gonna miss that Chick-fil-A sandwich though. Right? Eat what you want. Hell, it's your body.
Yes.
Look, okay, we are talking about good healthy food now. I'm trying to give up sweets. It's not easy. Pray for me. Let's see. Mary sees Tooth. God is using you in an amazing way through your platform. I hope you know that. Mukbang and Thanks. Thank you for sharing your story. I felt you were telling my story. So similar, so inspiring.
Oh, bless.
Thank you for saying that, Mary T. That means a lot. It certainly does mean a lot. Chicken nowadays are five times bigger than they used to be when I was a kid. They got me wondering, looking sideways. Yeah, because it's all the hormones and antibiotics they put in there.
Several.
What's it? Vicky says, I'm moving to take baby steps. Pescatarian, then vegan.
Oh, okay.
Have you thought about going pescatarian or you just didn't even cross that threshold? You went straight into veganism.
I thought about it because I really love fish, but I just didn't do it at the time. So yeah, this is just what's working.
Marco says everybody loves pork, especially Tooth when he's eating his lechon, his pork roasts. That's my fried pork roast, y'all. I'm definitely, let's see, I'd love to go vegan, but it would have to be gradually, Ray says. I'm definitely not
Yeah,
eating any kangaroo or anything that is not in a regular category of food. And I'm saying bye bye. Um, bye bye to animals. I can't. That's so funny. Now tell me about Mike Olson says cod is his favorite. Now tell me about some five misconceptions of veganism. What are those five misconceptions? Let's tell some of these audience members that may be thinking about going, but they feel like they ain't ready to do it yet. What are some five misconceptions?
the biggest one is about food. Like, they think we just eat salads, and vegetables, and it's a lot more than that. That's what people always tell me. I can't just eat salad. And I'm like, I rarely eat a salad. It's rare that I eat a salad. It's so many choices out there, and it's so many options that you could do to make food vegan. So, I think that's a big misconception. Is about the food. I think another misconception is about the person that's vegan. Like, we think that we're set apart and better than and all that. And I've actually met some vegans like that. So I can't really get mad at people for thinking that. But that ain't who I am. I watch y'all eat chicken, pork, pig feet, all that. And I be drooling.
Do
Okay?
do you still
I
really
love
drool
pig.
off of people eating that? You still got a taste for it? Like when you
Wait a
see
minute, what
people,
you say?
I said, do you really still got a taste for it when you see people eating it really good?
Yes. It's mostly chicken and fish. Those really are the two things that I crave that I no longer eat. The cheese thing used to be a big thing for me, but it's very easy to, get you some vegan cheese and make it taste like some real cheese. I've found, I've tested out many things and found what works for me and my taste buds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still be wanting that stuff and crave like the chitlins. That's why I made a vegan chitlin. Yes, I
Did you
did.
really?
Yes. And
Wow.
it tastes just like chitlins because I still crave that taste. Yeah.
I'm just writing this down because I want to inform people. Don't be misinformed about what you, what veganism really is. All right.
And and when you talk about a hardcore vegan, like they really are very strict in the stuff that they use on their skin,
Mm-hmm.
like the shampoos and conditioners, the soaps, the household products, the clothes they wear. There yet. I would love to get there. But my thing is just all diet right now. I have really started paying attention to the things that I bring in my house, like my household cleaning products and stuff like that. That things that are harmful to the environment, but that is really a process. I ain't hardcore like that because I've had some vegans at me, even vegan chitlin. I belong to a vegan group on Facebook, and they came for my head
Why?
because I called because I they said because it was made out of mushrooms, but they was like,
Right.
can't you call it a blooming this or bloom? Why you had to call it a chitlin? Like they was so mad. They was mad. Why would you want something that resembles a pork? So I found myself like getting people together in the group, and then I just said, I'm gonna remove myself from the chat. You want me? Come find, but I'm gone because you're not on my head.
Oh my God,
But
that is
yeah,
too funny. Hashtag the cannon says
you got
Virgo chick
it's
chick. He
hard,
said
and
chick.
they always start. I ain't trying to judge you, but did you just put some such and such on that? Cause that got this in it. I'll be like, I sure did. Next.
You're like, yes, I did. I can let go of pork, maybe even beef, but that damn bird, Lord. Hashtag the cannon said. Judy,
I
I'll be your
crave chicken on.
Judy, I'll be your prayer partner because this pecan pie, Jesus, help me, Jesus. Are you a sweets person, or are you?
I
Can vegans eat sweets?
Yeah, and I mean, I probably mess up a lot with my sweets because, I'm not one of those vegans that don't do wheat or gluten. Thank
Mm-hmm.
God. That's not me. I don't have a gluten intolerance or anything like that. But I do crave sweets a lot. Um, and a lot of like cakes and stuff is made with eggs and milk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it gets hard to like read this and that, and I'd be like, dang, I can't even have that. I mean, I get some stuff, a lot of stuff from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or whatever.
Yeah.
But on Thanksgiving, I don't care what they put in that sweet potato pie. I'm having a slice.
That's when you go all balls out. You're like, fuck all this. I'm gonna have it.
I'm gonna have me a slice of sweet potato pie. I have to. Like I have to. I did not. I don't care. I ain't gonna beat myself about that. I'll be alright.
Let's see. Virgo is crazy. Cannons, I caught a lot of pork. It gave me headaches. I eat so much chicken. I think I got feathers.
Yes, I love chicken so much. I didn't think I would ever be able to give up chicken. I still crave it
The key
all the
here,
time, and
here
I
go to
that's why I can't. I refuse that for my kids. I cook the they still want to have, but I refuse to cook chicken. I don't want to smell fried chicken in my house because I don't trust myself.
right. It's that bad, huh? So they have to go out and go get the chicken
Yes,
themselves. And you're like,
yes,
don't bring. You're like, don't bring it home.
nope.
The keto girl is funny. She said the canon something about the name chicken. Something. Oh, that's a song. Something about the name Jesus. The name chicken. It is the sweetest name I know. Oh, I love chicken. That is that song,
Keto,
y'all.
you
Something about the name Jesus. Yep, that's the song. When I read the words, I was like, man, they putting the gospel music on the chicken. That is too funny. You're welcome, Vicky. I'll actually take a picture of it tomorrow. Okay, they talking about food. They talking about food. Virgo, there's a Virgo. There go a new song for you. I'm crazy about salads and fruit. I could literally live off of watermelon.
I
Vicky
love
said,
fruit too.
I know I can go vegan because sometimes at dinner I won't eat anything but the veggies and salad. I was so thankful my mom gave up eating pig's feet. I've never heard of such a thing before in my life.
And I think that's an easy way to transition to, like, if you just eat certain things a couple times a week, it's easier to like you take meat out maybe once or twice a week is easy to transition into.
MRTV says, I truly believe if it wasn't so expensive to eat healthy, there would be so many more healthy people. That's the truth, y'all. The most worst food is the cheapest food, right? So let's talk about some socioeconomic issues here, because now you're putting folks that are people of color, right, into situations that may not have the funds to be able to, go into a lifestyle that's going to cost them more money. Um,
Is that expensive though? I feel like that's another misconception.
I
I
love
mean,
that.
I feel
Let's say
like
it.
yeah, I feel like if you buy vegan junk food, it will be expensive. Like if you buy a vegan mock burger or you buy vegan mock chicken, that stuff is expensive. Or even like the Beyond Meat brands and all. But we talk about produce here. You
That's
know,
true.
squash, zucchini, fruits and stuff. It's not that expensive, guys. Like I can go to the grocery store with $25 and shop in the produce section and clean up on period. But it's when you start doing all that other extra stuff. Throwing in the junk foods, and when I say junk foods, I mean like the burgers and all that stuff, the
Yeah.
vegan ones. That stuff can be expensive.
Let me
But
ask you
I
this.
just feel like we need to be educated.
One thing about being vegan, does it always mean being organic? Are they tied together?
I don't believe in that.
Okay. So
That
they,
whole organic thing versus this. I know I've even heard people that say, "Oh, if I eat an organic apple, I feel better. But if I eat an apple that's not organic, it tickles my throat or my throat gets scratchy." I just feel like sometimes they slap that stuff on things just to make it more expensive.
right.
Because, it's if
It's
it's
a
all from the earth, it's coming up from the ground, you just gotta really do your research. I'm not one of those go hards. I gotta have it organic and all that. I will buy some organic, but I don't go in there and aim for that.
right.
So
Mokma, Beauty with T says, does your family find it strange you being a YouTuber? That's a great question.
yes, they do. They, like I
Why?
said with my children, initially they was like, "Mama, you should start YouTube or whatever." And when I started, my children was like, "That's all you do? That's all you think about?" Even one of my kids was like, "Oh, you don't care what I gotta say because I'm not on YouTube." And I was like, "Don't make me cut your throat." But outside of my kids or whatever, like they don't get it. My family do not get it. And sometimes they call themselves being supportive, like they have found out from other family or whatever that I'm on here. So like if I do a live stream, they'll jump in my live and they come in all wrong, saying my full whole government name and oh, do your thing and we see you and this and that. Baby, text me. Call
They throwing it all in the universe and throwing it all in public.
my other YouTubers, you know what I'm saying? But they don't get it. They don't see the bigger picture or what I'm trying to do, and they basically like, what is she doing eating? What is she eating on camera for?
Right.
Don't get it. And much more than the eating, for me, it's the cooking. I love to cook. They all know this. They have all ate my food over the years. So, but yeah, they don't get it. They don't understand.
Let me ask you that because food recipes outside of mukbangs, food recipes are always clicked on when you're looking for something. So, have your food recipe videos gotten more hits than your mukbangs?
I tell you, honestly, the ones that have gotten the most attention have been those vegan soul food ones that I do for some reasons, and I do cook on those, and I show the recipe and things like that. But it's for some reason it's something intriguing about making vegan soul food.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do, and I get a lot of questions about those. So those have been the most click worthy ones that I have done. Those vegan soul food ones.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah, when I'm camera.
that's really cool because you noticed. I mean, it's a searchable engine, right? So people go onto YouTube to search different things, whether how to do this, how do I cook that,
Right.
how do I make this. Not I want to watch somebody eat vegan. It's how do you cook vegan, and so
Right.
those are I would say those kind of recipe related videos always get a lot more traction than the mukbang ones, unless of course it's tied to something big. But those
Right.
recipe ones are really really interesting, and over time you'll see that those kind of videos in your channel will probably be the ones that will continue to get hits, daily,
Yeah.
weekly, monthly, depending on the season. Now is the right time to even do like vegan recipes for the holiday, right? So if
Right.
you think about recording for the holiday, there it goes right there. A couple weeks, 3 weeks before the holiday comes.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is next week, but for Christmas even, putting 2 or 3 videos out on
Yep.
vegan recipes for the holidays, it'll be amazing. I'm telling you, those will gain traction and stick as
Right.
continuous videos that people will see.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Beauty with T says, oh, let me see. Hashtag says, our families won't say it, but they really be wanting to ask why the hell we got 40 chicken legs spread across our table.
Yeah, or you be like, or they ask you something like, "Let me get some money," or do something. You be like, "Oh, I ain't doing that because I ain't got no money." They be like, "Cause you spending all your money on mukbang."
Okay, that's funny. What you gonna spend? I know I had to learn to really budget because y'all, I moved away from mom's. Because after dad passed away, we said we're gonna stay with mom to make sure everything's okay with her and she's all set, and then we're gonna move out. And so that's what we did this year. But staying at mom's, I'm eating good food at mama's house, and uh,
Right.
and I'm eating good food just because I don't have to pay for rent. Really, I just paid for some of the expenses. So I was eating good food every single day. And now that I don't have as much disposable income to be able to do that, I really have to be thinking about the budget
Yes.
and what I'm going to eat. And
Right.
it's a little bit different and a little bit more difficult to do that. But you just have to keep on pushing when you do those kind of things. But that's why my videos have been more in the car than they have been inside a house, because I don't get to I don't have the good food as much anymore. Now I'm going to get to cooking, of course, but um, it's all about being budget friendly about what we do
Right.
in these YouTube streets. Everybody pay attention to your fruits and vegetables. None of them have dirt anymore. They sure not cleaning it for us because they care. I used to have to wash my greens at least 3 times. Not now. I love organic foods now. Truth, organic food does cost more, but to me and my palate, it tastes better. Everybody's laughing at each
See.
other. I believe that to be true. I have food allergies, and I know for a fact that there are some things that I can eat organically that I cannot eat from the regular food. And it's all the pesticides and all that stuff that they put in. It's the stuff they put in the food
Yeah,
that
I do
don't.
that. Vegetable wash. Like it comes in a spray bottle, and you like wash all your fruits and veggies with it. I scrub all my fruits and veggies with that stuff very, very thoroughly. So
And
we
that's
can't be free of everything, but we can just do the best that we can.
and that's a good thing. I think we forget that we have those options to be able to do that, right? To really clean some of that stuff that's on the residue and this all that stuff that comes
Yeah.
chemicals that are
Just,
all up on the food.
when you buy like those vegetables, like spinach and stuff that say pre-washed, you better wash that stuff.
Yeah. You never know. It's been sitting in that water. What else is growing?
Yeah.
Bacteria and all that other stuff. All right, we're getting into. Oh man, it's an hour and 40 minutes already that we've gone live. So I don't want to take you. I know it's getting late for y'all. It's already 11:10, and I still
Yeah.
haven't had any dinner. But I definitely want to make sure that there's enough other questions out there for our girl. If you want to get to know her more, I want to first say thank you so much, Dee, for coming on and um, having a good
Thank you
time
very
and having some of your supporters here, support some of our supporters be here to support your channel and to really be
much.
here for you and ask and really love on you. I think you've been such an impact for not just your sisterhood, but for a lot of us that have come in the door here. to share some love with you. But I want to say, I want to leave the last word with you. If there's anything else that you want to share, if there's no other questions, if there's anything that you want to share with us as far as YouTube journey and what your goals are and what you want to do for the next 6 more months.
Um, First of all, thank you guys for coming and sticking in there. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to be there, but you over here, and I really, really appreciate it. I love you all. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to me. Um, as far as what I want to do with my channel and YouTube, I definitely want to keep growing, keep making those connections. You know, and I want my channel to grow because I have something a lot more that I want to show. You know, it's definitely with the food, it's definitely with the recipes, but you know, that whole healing part and you know, that freedom that we were
Yeah.
talking about, I
Yeah.
want to incorporate that type of thing into my channel as well because that's really who I am. That's why I always called it Mukbang N Thangs because I knew I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get into other things. Um, so yeah, those things are just telling our truths, you know, whether we can laugh together, cry together, but get free, honey. Get free. And we can talk about some stuff. We can cut up. We can be ratchet. I mean, I'm a classy, I'm a lady, but I still got about that much percent ratchet, you know.
People have to watch out for me at work because for me at work after 4 o'clock I get to be in ratchet. Like it come to 4 o'clock, I got to get my 1 hour of ratchet in the office. Otherwise, I wouldn't be complete. Like I'm professional all day long, but come 4 o'clock, Angelo's gonna cut up on somebody, talk about somebody, act up a fool or something when I'm at work. But I have to tell you, with what you just said, you have such a story and that I think it's so important to branch out in what you said and do those connections to be able to have conversations of your truths. And I totally
Right.
see you doing a weekly, if not, if you have the time to do a bi-weekly show where you're talking more. Of course, you're going to have a cut up session, but you're also going to have a conversation about life. And I could certainly
Yeah.
see that happening from your channel. Like I can certainly see you pushing that, sooner rather than later, because there's so much passion in what you've gone through, and there's so much
Hmm.
forgiveness in it too.
Right.
That anyone who hears that story and what you've gone through would be gifted by all of that. And I think it's important to know that um, you certainly have that strength. It doesn't phase you. It is what it is. You are who you
Right.
are. But you're still that loving and caring person if someone is going through that to help them understand there is a way out. So if there's anything that comes out of this live that we have today is to understand that there is a way out. The recovery is possible.
Yeah.
The steps to get there is extremely possible. Find your way to a spiritual journey that's going to allow you to move in God's way to get to that point of healing. Um, Make sure that you
And
live.
even if you want just to talk or ask questions. I have a ton of resources that can help you if you're ready to move forward in that way. But even if it's just to talk, because you know sometimes we have nobody to talk about it with. We can't talk to our family about it because they judge us.
Yeah,
So
isn't that
yeah,
amazing
I'm
that
here,
sometimes
y'all.
you
Find me on Instagram, whatever. Reach out
it's
to me
it's funny
with
how
your
you
girl.
say that. It's not a shocker, but it is a shocker where the family that you grow on YT is so much more deeper than the family that you have
Yeah.
for blood, because there's a
Yes.
judgmental portion of who they are that they can't get over. Does that make any sense? Like, if that
Yes.
relationship is a judgmental relationship, it's always going to be that, regardless of what happens. But in YouTube, because the relationship is so immediate that you don't have time to judge. It is, it's a stronger bond and stronger relationship. This was amazing and so heartfelt and real. I just want to thank you, Mukbang and Thanks, for an awesome show. This is the best one thus far. I appreciate the both of you. Jackie Huff is
Well,
saying thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us and educating us as well. Much love. Keto
thank you.
Girl saying Virgo, yes, it is. amazing live from the person that gave me the dough twice and rehired me for the job. I absolutely love this episode with Mukbang and Thangs. D, I love you. Thank you too for continuing to support smaller YouTube channels as well as the big. Thank you for sharing your story
Yeah.
with us tonight. Chanel Adams said, Keto
Yo,
Girl is laughing at me, and so is Dining with Zion laughing at me. We always got to cut up. Bradford TV, thank you. Thank you, Mukbang and Things. You were great tonight. Stuart Gillian is saying, hey
thank you.
guys. Alert,
Hey,
I'm late, but I'm here. How are you guys? Miss Sugar's in the house. Yeah, we about to wrap up, Miss Sugar.
hey.
Miss Sugar. Mike Olson says, I love you, dude. You are very, very strong. She is, you guys. You can't help but to feel um, in victory. I want to say that word, in victory, when you
Appreciate that.
when you hear her story, because you don't see an ounce of sadness. All you hear is an ounce of truth, with no
Yeah,
apology. This is who I am, accept me or not. Bye, kind of thing. Thank you so much, Mukbang, and thanks. Thank you too. Much love to both of you. Everyone
thank
is saying
you.
thank you. Keep rising from Vicky's world. Um, Sorry, Miss Sugar
Vicky,
and I are late. We were doing a video, but Sugar told me about you. Keep your head up and watch the blessings come to you. Absolutely.
Miss Sugar, that's my Baltimore sister. We got a collab, Sugar.
I know y'all down the street. I was just gonna say there was someone else down in Baltimore.
Yes. We gonna hook
Bradford
it up.
Bradford says, please keep my puppy in your prayers. He's not feeling well. Oh, big prayers to your puppy, Brad. All right, everyone is saying thank you. Again, D, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know it's late out there on the East Coast. But is there anyone that's going live that we want to rush, a bum rush on? There's 24 people still here, and I want to make sure that people
So
are
much for
moved.
having me. I love you. Thank you. Look, too, I remember the night when you first came in my live, right?
Uh
So
huh.
I was in there cut and I was calling off names. Everybody came in and I was just like, hey, Virgo, hey. And then I was like, Mr. Tooth. And I fainted. And Tooth was like, bitch, get up.
You know what? I have to share something. It's odd because people don't know me in my real life as Tooth. They know me as Angelo. That's my government name, right? So I don't just walk
Right.
into a room named Angelo and be like, "Oh, what's up? What's going on, Angelo?" No, they don't give me that kind of love, right? In real life. Now, when you walk into a chat and it's a bump in chat and people are really cool, you walk in and they give you love, like, "Oh, Tooth, you what's going on, Tooth?" And you're like, "Really? Y'all giving me that kind of welcome?"
I'm
It's
so happy because I had been seeing you all the time around you. And I had been hearing your name all the time. And then you came in and I was like, Mr. Tooth. Ah. And then like, bitch, if you don't get up. I
it's it
remember that so clearly, but it's just been all love from that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it feels so good to be able to come in and people have that authentic, response. I'm just Angelo from down the block, and I got a missing motherfucking tooth, and I don't give a fuck, That's just I'm gonna eat in front of y'all, and I ain't got a tooth. I mean, but it feels so good to say to hear that, and it's I thank you for saying that. That means a lot to me, for remembering that particular moment. Because now that you said it, I remember. Because Pretty as a Peach was cutting. She's like, you done fell
Yes,
out.
I could not believe she said that. I was like, oh my God, she'd have called me out. But I was just like, hey, in the moment, I'm like, the Mr. Tooth. Ah.
Well, there goes that smile. There goes that love. There goes that soul. I thank you so much, my sister, for being here with me, and gracing me
Yes,
with your presence, sharing your story. And as Vicky's World always says, keep rising, my sister. Do what you got to
yes,
do. I see it. I'm calling it out right now. It is yours. That you will have a platform to be able not just to share laughter that you do, but to really share your story in a more in depth type of way. Um, you can't have a testimony without a test, and people say that all the time. And you have been tested, you have a testimony to share, and you certainly will have a platform to be able to do that. So I can't wait for that growth. I can't wait to see you rise in that particular avenue,
yes.
wholeheartedly. I'll be there to support you whatever you need me to do.
Thank
Now,
you.
if y'all haven't checked out her channel, make sure you guys check out her channel. I think Nightbot has been sending it out. It's in the description below as well. If you guys have not checked out a playlist that she has, make sure you guys are showing some love on the playlist. Um, we
Oh,
all
thank
we all have those kind of moments where we have to help one another, and we certainly want to do that. Folks that have come on my show, I certainly play their playlists after the show, so you will be getting a playlist run tonight before I go to bed, and let that run throughout the day for tomorrow. But I'll be sending you a message just showing you where I am and where it ended. I leave a tablet on for the night and then leave it going throughout the day, so to make sure that I'm giving you the watch time hours that you've given me today in this live. It's just, we're sharing
thank
that,
you so much.
we share that gift with one another if we can. And if you haven't, you guys, ran any of her playlists, if she has multiple ones, make sure to go check out her channel and look at that playlist. A playlist, if you have a 20-hour playlist, that helps a lot for a lot of us. So make sure to check that out as well. Do you have any more hour? Where are you as far as your watch hours, if you don't mind sharing, or if that's something you want to keep secret?
No, I don't mind sharing. I'm close to 2,000,
That's
which
good.
I'm really with. So
Yeah, I mean, in a matter of 2
yeah,
months, 2.5 months,
yeah.
that's
And
good.
I haven't playlist partners or anything like that. So I feel really, really good about that.
Yeah, and I think in a matter of, it's November now, mid-January, easily, especially when you put this show
Yeah.
together. If you,
And I want to definitely get on a schedule to where I'm putting out more and doing more lives and things like that. I was just talking to Virgo about that. I was like, I got to get, my rotation together. It
yeah,
just be so much going on with my school life, my work life full time, my kids
mm-hmm,
and all that. I'm actually in a place where I'm like, okay, let's get back to life. Let's focus on what I want to do.
yeah.
And yeah, so
Are you
I'm
going
about
back
to
to school
start
to get your master's?
bachelor's in English.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
So I like to write. We didn't get to talk about that tonight, but
No, do I have to bring you back on? Vicky's
I
world.
am a story.
Vicky's world surprised me, and she said she has a book that she's looking at to be
Me and Vic,
published.
our both of our writing, we've talked about that together, and I've shared it with a few people. Like in my little circle, a couple people here. But yeah, I love to write. So, and I felt like if it was something that I really, really wanted to pursue, that I wanted to go back to school to pursue that. So I have an 8A in it already. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's awesome. English probably was one of my favorites. Biology actually was one of my favorite subjects. Then English and math was just
it's
out
a
the dough.
hard stuff on a college level. Let me tell you, because you got to learn every nuance that there is,
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy.
to English. So,
Sit and Mo's in the
hey,
house. They said good evening, everyone. Yes, Mukbang and Thangs. That schedule is everything. Yeah, it definitely is.
yes,
It
I'm
definitely
gonna
keep
try
you
to
on the
get
right
on
track.
it. On it,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys again for being here and sharing your time with us. Almost 2 hours. Thank y'all for being here. A very long time, but
Amazing,
it didn't even
y'all.
feel like 2 hours went. we're, we're having such a good time just interacting with everybody as well in the chat. But thank you guys for being here. Love y'all. Thank you so much, Sis D. Hang on there for a second while I end this broadcast. But thank you, everybody. Love you. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.